So whenever there is a threat, of inflation, what happens? The central bank, will interfere, because it wants to stop this, will interfere in order to control the money supply. Yes, to control the money supply. And if the money supply is controlled, what will happen? Inflation also will be controlled. So inflation is control, or rather you can say, to control the inflation, the banks will interfere. Okay, so now, so I think now you have understood a little bit. Like, you'll be having more clarity with the next explanation. So let me just wrap this and I'll just clear this. Yes, so this is a mechanism. Okay, it's a chain. This is the way the banks will perform. Okay, so because the main goal of the bank is to control the inflation, so the mechanism through which the central banks control inflation depends on the interest rate. That is why I said that we will talk about money supply and interest rate. So interest rate plays a very, very big tool here. So it depends on the interest rate. Okay, so interest rate and money supply, they move, in opposite direction. Okay, so they move in opposite directions. So now this is a very important thing which you have to remember. As money supply is increased, the interest has the tendency to fall, and vice versa. So let me write vice versa. So when money supply is less, then the interest rate will increase. Okay, because the supply of money is less, and that is why the interest rate. So if money supply is more, then the interest rate will also reduce. Now why does this happen? So let me explain to you this. Okay, so just let me wrap this. Yeah, so but why does it happen? As I said, when money supply increases, the interest rate decreases, and vice versa. See, suppose at any given point in time, and the economy is suffering. So the economy, let me write down here, the economy is suffering from a very low growth. Okay, so from low growth, so what will happen? The central bank will intervene. So the central bank will interfere. Okay, by using, so we will talk about these tools in the monetary policy time, but right now I'm just telling you what kind of tools are there. So by using its monetary policy tools. Okay, so what are the monetary policy tools? The first one is bank rate. Okay, then we call it as repo rate. Okay, then we have statutory, very important, statutory liquidity rate. Okay, so when we will be studying money and banking, we will know this in better in detail, and monetary policy also. So as I said, these are the monetary policy tools where the banks will use accordingly. So which is it? Is it bank rate, repo rate, and statutory liquidity rate? Okay. Now, okay, so just let me wrap this. The result of such loose monetary policy is to increase in money supply in the economy. Okay, so now the increased money supply means at any given point in time there will be excess money in the economy, and then what people are willing to hold, how much money they will have in their hand, and what will happen to this excess money. So if there is a lot of money in the economy, what will happen to the excess money? So that is the very important thing. And people will not would want to keep the excess money in their hands, or they will not like to keep the excess money in the wallets. So then definitely they will try to invest this money in some financial instruments like bonds. So let me write here: people will not want the excess money to be kept idle in their wallets. So they will try to invest it somewhere else in alternative instruments. And what are these alternative instruments? They are called as bonds. Okay, so like bonds. Okay, so now bonds are something, they are much safer than shares. Okay, so they are like, every year they are some kind of certificates where they will buy it from the government, and the government will give them every year a rate of interest for investing the money, or to the government. Okay, so now there is a very established price between the bonds and also the rise or the interest rate. Okay, so let me write down here, and you have to remember this point. It's a very important point. Okay, so in financial economics, very important, as bond prices rise, interest will fall. Okay, so a fall, now you have to remember these are all interrelated. So a fall in interest rate will definitely increase investment, increase in investment. Okay, now this will increase the production, so increase in output or production. So this, see the relationship I'm going on, and definitely this will also again increase employment, and finally national income. Okay, so that is what now. So let's just read it again. A fall in the interest rate will increase in investment, which will increase in output or production, and then it will increase finally employment and national income. Okay, So hence what will happen, there will be no more any slowdown. So I'll write it down here, hence end of slow down. Okay, so now this concept has to be, this concept which is there has to be very clearly done. Okay, so this is a very important concept, and that is why I'm putting a circle here, so that you remember this all the way. And this is the mantra of inflation, how we are going to control the inflation. Okay, so now let us go with more points to how to control inflation. So let me go to the first point. So let me just clear this. Yes, so first, government spending and interest rate. Okay, now as I said, the fiscal policy will affect. So let me write down here, fiscal policy affects equilibrium, income and interest rate. Now what is equilibrium? Equal, same level. Okay, so this will affect. Now always what will happen, the income and the interest rate is generally should be equal, but fiscal policy is the one which was affecting here. Okay, now what do we do with government spending? So now an increase in government spending, okay, is done. So why does government spend so much? Obviously it wants to boost the economy. It's done to boost the economic activity, which will lead in increase in the interest rate. So see the way it is being done. Okay, now this happens at any point of time. In any given time, the economy will have a limited saving capacity, and when the government increases spending, it will definitely compete with the private sectors also. So this is basically, the government will do spending in order to push the interest rate. Okay, so that is the way. So let me just show you how monetary policy helps to control the inflation. So let me rub this. Okay, so let me write down here. So let me write down here, monetary policy and inflation. Okay, so first I will write down here is inflationary scenario. Suppose it's an inflation happening in the country. Okay, now who will come for rescue? The central bank. So I'm drawing here central bank. Okay, and what will the central bank do? It will tighten the monetary policy. Okay, then this will affect the bank rate. So as I told you, these are the tools of monetary policy. So the central bank will introduce bank rate or repo rate, and what it will do, it will increase. So bank rate and repo rate increases. Okay, so then what happens? Look down, the cut of lending increases, so loans are increasing. Okay, then what happens? Interest rate will rise. Okay, so when interest rates are right, so nobody wants to borrow, so obviously investment will, so investment falls. Okay, if investment falls, what happens to the demand? Aggregate demand falls. Okay, and then nobody is interested to buy, and that is why the prices also come down. So prices are under check. So did you understand how they reduce the price? So let us see the step once more. So this is an inflation scenario. Then central bank comes and intervenes and it tightens the monetary policy. It introduces the bank rate or the repo rate, and by increasing it, and then there is a cut of lending increases because loans are no more there. Nobody wants to take loan because the interest rate is so high. Since the interest rate is high, nobody wants to invest, so investment also falls, and slowly nobody has money, so demand of the goods are also decreasing. And since demand is decreasing, that is why these investors cannot increase the prices of the goods, and that is why overall the prices also fall and prices are under check. So this is the way the monetary policy controls the inflation. Now let us see the same way fiscal policy controls inflation. Okay, so just let me rub this. So this was a very easy way to understand step by step how monetary policy intervenes to control inflation. So let me go with the next one. Okay, so now I will write about this fiscal policy and inflation. Okay, so I'll write down here fiscal policy and inflation. Okay, so here the first thing I will say, the first stage is inflation. Okay, so inflation has been introduced. Now again the government will come. So government tightens the fiscal policy. So what happens? The government tightens the fiscal policy. So government spending falls. So the government is no more spending. So definitely when the government is not spending, so investment falls. Okay, so I told you when investment falls, what happens? Aggregate demand falls. Okay, and this way the inflation is under check. So how is inflation under check? When the prices fall. Okay, so now let us see the step once more of fiscal policy and inflation. So inflation is there in the country, government tightens the fiscal policy, government spending falls, then investment falls, simultaneously aggregate demand falls, nobody is interested to buy, so obviously automatically the prices of the goods will also fall, and this is the way the inflation is under check. Now let us know what is the relationship between inflation and interest rate. So let me just rub this. So the relationship between inflation and interest rate. Okay, so now in order to understand this, between the inflation and the interest rate, it is necessary to understand the distinction between the real interest rate and the nominal interest rate. So if we don't understand what is the real interest rate and the nominal interest rate, we will not understand the relationship between inflation and interest rate. Okay, so example I'll give you here. Let us go back to basics. So I'll give an example. So let me write down your example. If you decide to deposit all your money, and say you have money is rupees 1 lakh. So rupees 1 lakh in a bank as fixed deposit, and at 10% rate, the fixed deposit is. Okay, so the rate of interest that bank pays you is nominal interest rate. So let me repeat here. So going by logic, so let me write down here, going by logic, okay, you will be expected to earn rupees 10,000 as interest rate for your fixed deposit. Let me talk it, let me say as a short form, FD. So you will be, how much money you will be having after that? So you will be having 1,10,000 rupees in the bank. Yes or no? Okay, so let me just rub this. Yes, 110,000. So 1,10,000 will be in your bank account. Okay. So this is the nominal interest rate which the bank is promised to give you, and after 1 year 10%. So that means in your bank you will have 1 lakh plus 10,000, that is 1,10,000. Okay. Now, so the story is not over. So let me just continue the story. Okay. Now, the strange part is, but what about, the value of your purchasing power?